told you the most powerful man in hip-hop could be hiding the darkest secrets in Hollywood? Day 18 of the Diddy trial just wrapped, and what came out shocked everyone in that courtroom. For the first time, the public got access to private audio recordings, and the details were hard to listen to. One victim, known only as Jane, broke down in tears as she told the jury what Diddy forced her to do behind closed doors. Jane said these freak-off nights became routine. She wasn't treated like a person, she was used, controlled, and fed drugs just to keep going. Prosecutors played an actual recording of one of these nights, and you could hear her begging. At one point, she asked for protection. Diddy refused. He told her and the male escort exactly what to do. Jane said she stopped feeling human. Everything became robotic. But it wasn't just her. Multiple women say Diddy used threats, power, and money to trap them. And these aren't just random claims. There are tapes, messages, and even hotel security involved. Prosecutors say this went on for years while no one dared to speak up. Now, the world is finally hearing these women's voices. And it's not just about Diddy anymore. It's about what power can hide.
There's also like people that are elites, and that's their thing. Like their thing is to do something that is horrible, and it's not available to other people. So it's like, I think there's like a sickness that people have when they have power, like extreme power, and then what else can I do? What else can I do? What else is what else is taboo? What else is forbidden? Like all this Diddy shit that's coming out. Like,
I was just gonna say, doesn't that sound topical?
Jesus Christ! The first day of the trial, did you pay attention to any of that stuff? I looked at it for like 10 minutes this morning, and I was like, I gotta stop. I can't look at this.
Well, what freaks me out is the people sitting in the courtroom listening to it.
Right.
And there's a wide spectrum of people that are getting subjected to it, and you just sit there and go.
Yeah, well, not only that, how about the fact that this guy was running this for decades? He was doing this for decades. To who knows how many fucking people, and everybody was scared to talk about it because he'd have.
But that wasn't the whole story, because what Jane revealed next took this trial to an even darker place. What Jane said next left the courtroom completely silent. On her birthday in 2023, she said Diddy made her spend the night with 3 different men, plus him. And when the prosecutor asked her why she went along with it, her answer was heartbreaking. She said, "I don't know. It had become so routine." Jane explained that after a while, she didn't even need to be told. She already knew what was expected. She said she lost all sense of herself, turning into someone who just followed orders, numb, tired, and afraid. Then came the audio clip that backed up her claims. In the recording, you can hear Jane and a man named Don talking in a hotel room, searching for a condom, but Diddy can be heard clearly in the background, telling them they're not allowed to use one. His voice was firm and in control. Jane later told the court, "I didn't want to disappoint him. He would be unhappy if I didn't do what he wanted." That one sentence showed just how deep his control really went. Prosecutors say this wasn't just about fame or parties. It was about power. And Jane's story is just one of many. She described being given substances every night to keep her awake. She said it became normal to be passed around while Diddy watched from the corner, giving instructions. And what happened next would shock everyone, because Jane wasn't the only one Diddy tried to silence. Jane's story opened the floodgates, but it was Cassie's testimony that gave the case national attention. She was once Diddy's longtime girlfriend and rising star in the music industry, but behind the red carpets and smiling photos, Cassie says she was living in fear. According to her, Diddy controlled everything, from what she wore to who she spoke to, and even when she could leave the house. And when she pushed back, that's when the violence started. Cassie told the court Diddy would get physical without warning. She said he threw her around, screamed in her face, and made threats that kept her quiet for years. One detail stood out. She said Diddy forced her to take part in those same freak-off nights. But she wasn't just a participant, he made her sit still while other men did things. And Diddy would sit nearby, watching and giving instructions like he was in charge of a show. Even worse, Cassie said Diddy told the men what to do, how to do it, and where to finish, treating her like an object, not a person. He would allegedly punish her if she didn't follow his commands, using fear to keep her in line. This wasn't about passion. It was about power, control, and humiliation.
Yeah, it's really wild, man. Evil is a real thing, you know? Nobody wants to believe, because if you believe in the devil, right? If you believe in Satan, you believe in something that's silly. Like most people believe, a lot of people believe in God. If you ask people, do you believe in God? Yeah, well, I'm not religious, but I believe in God. Okay, well, do you believe in the devil? Most people will say no. But do you believe in evil acts? Well, yeah, well, people certainly do evil things. Well, where do you think that comes from? If evil is real, what is it about us that makes us want to deny the possibility that there's some nefarious force that is in human beings, that influences human beings. It's not as simple as like some people are bad, some people are good. No, maybe evil is a real element that you have to fight in life. And that maybe this is just something that's been documented all throughout history, but our arrogance in our secular society wants to keep us from recognizing that as an actual factor.
Cassie's words were bold, clear, and deeply painful. She didn't hold back, and her courage opened the door for other women to speak out too. But Diddy's control didn't stop there, because what one hotel worker revealed next could change everything. A hotel security supervisor named Eddie Garcia just gave one of the most powerful testimonies in the trial so far. He didn't come forward at first, but after being promised legal protection, he revealed everything he knew. Eddie worked at the Intercontinental Hotel, one of the locations where Diddy and Cassie were seen often. And one night, he said, he got a call from someone unexpected, Diddy's chief of staff, Christina Korm. According to Eddie, Christina begged him to find and delete a hotel video that showed Diddy hurting Cassie. When he refused, she showed up in person, and when he still said no, she handed the phone to Diddy himself. Eddie testified that Diddy warned him that if the video ever got out, it would ruin his life, and offered a huge cash reward if he made sure it disappeared. What happened next felt like a scene out of a movie. Eddie said he talked to his manager, who agreed to sell the video. The next day, Eddie brought a USB drive to a private meeting with Diddy, Christina, and a bodyguard. But Eddie was nervous. He didn't want to be tied to a crime. That's when, according to his story, Diddy FaceTimed Cassie and told her to say it was all okay. Cassie, bruised and wearing a hoodie, followed the order. Then Eddie signed a contract saying no other copies existed and was handed a bag with $100,000. But that wasn't the end of it, because what investigators found on Christina's phone could blow this case wide open. Christina Korm, Diddy's former chief of staff, didn't just make the call. She may have helped cover everything up. When federal agents raided Diddy's properties, they seized 2 of her phones. What they found connected all the dots. Inside one phone was a contact saved as Eddie My Angel, the same security guard who said he helped hide the video. There were also photos of IDs, proof that people handed over their information before signing NDAs and getting paid. Prosecutors say these phones confirm that bribes were paid to destroy evidence. Christina even deleted all her social media and vanished from the public eye after her phones were taken. Some believe she was Diddy's right hand, like Ghislaine Maxwell was to Epstein, helping behind the scenes while he ran the show. This wasn't just one person acting alone. There was a system in place to protect Diddy, silence victims, and erase the truth. But things really took a turn when witnesses started disappearing. As the trial gained national attention, something chilling began to happen. Witnesses started disappearing. People who had once agreed to testify either backed out or couldn't be located. One woman, testifying under the name Mia, was under federal protection, but somehow her real identity was leaked online. This raised serious safety concerns and made others afraid to come forward. Mia told the court that Diddy brainwashed her. She believed that if she ever went to the police, he'd harm her or someone in her family. Her words shook the courtroom. I was terrified. I felt like I couldn't escape. Legal experts say the leak of her identity may not be a direct crime unless someone in the case is responsible, but it still sent a clear message. Someone wants these women to stay quiet.
By the way, interesting update from court. Sean Combs' counsel, Alexandra Shapiro, says some people on the internet think they figured out who Mia is. We got this video, again, that might be used to impeach her credibility. We got this video also from random people on the internet. We don't think this was ever posted on her social media. It was on some random website. Should we show it to you? I gotta ask you, I have to move on to this question, Serena. This is quite alarming. How is this possible?
I have no idea how it's possible, and I'm sure Mia is probably panicking in this moment in time. Like, are people stalking her on the internet, trying to figure out her identity? She testified that she was a victim, essentially. There's rape shield laws that exist to try to protect people in her position. And so this is really getting very nerve-wracking probably for her, and just absurd for the courtroom.
If someone revealed her identity, is that a crime, Tyler?
No, it's not a crime if somebody revealed her identity, especially if they're not a part of this case. The reason they have these confidentiality orders and protective orders is for the parties involved to do their best to protect a Jane Doe or anybody proceeding under a pseudonym's identity. It is possible for the public to learn their identity, but it's really the people who are part of the case who are agreeing to protect her confidentiality. Once she got on that stand, it's very possible that somebody knew her identity. What I find more troubling and less likely is if this video is being sent by random people on the internet, and that's what they want to proffer as evidence in this criminal trial, I find that hard to be admitted. If they could track the video from one person who could confirm the identity of the person, and then it can be used for impeachment evidence, that's different. But random people on the internet sending videos, that opens the door to a can of worms.
Now, prosecutors are racing against time to protect their witnesses and keep the case alive. And yet, what Diddy's lawyers did next could change everything. Diddy's legal team is now fighting back hard. In a bold move, his lawyers filed a motion for a mistrial. They claim the prosecutors allowed false testimony, specifically that Cassie lied under oath about seeing her friend Brianna being dangled off a 17th floor balcony. According to the defense, text messages show Cassie didn't witness it directly. Instead, she learned about it later and texted someone saying, "I just found out some crazy stuff." Diddy's team argues that the government knew this, but still questioned Cassie like she saw it happen. That, they say, is misconduct, and enough to toss the entire case. If the judge agrees, the trial could be thrown out, and Diddy could walk free. It's a high-stakes gamble from the defense. They're hoping one mistake by prosecutors will unravel months of painful testimony and evidence. But if you think that's shocking, wait until you hear which celebrities might have seen it all and stayed silent. As more stories come out, people are starting to ask, how many celebrities knew what was happening? Joe Rogan questioned why so many big names were at Diddy's parties. He mentioned people like LeBron James, Ashton Kutcher, even politicians and actors. Were they just guests, or was something more going on? According to Rogan, the parties were designed to make newcomers feel safe. Famous faces helped ease suspicions, but once you were inside, you'd be given drinks, possibly spiked, and pushed into situations you couldn't escape from. Cameras were allegedly hidden everywhere. Rogan said it was the perfect setup to trap people and make sure they'd never speak out.
Think Diddy was rogue, or Diddy was like a Epstein type, working for somebody?
That's a good question. Well, it would be a great way to compromise celebrities. Yeah. And get them to say whatever you want them to do, get them to do whatever projects you'd like them to do. And, you know, if you're a bunch of other celebrities are there, you're like, oh, look, Bill Clinton's here. This is fine.
Yeah.
This is cool. Look at this. Like, Brad Pitt's here. Oh, this is cool. You don't even think there's anything wrong with being there. Meanwhile, you're getting drugged up and filmed, and then they're passing out punch. Have some punch, Aaron. And you have some punch, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm feeling really good. I just feel amazing. You're all mopped up. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. Probably a combination of things they give you.
And it's all being filmed.
Crazy. Now, if that's not an intelligence agency operation, it's just one evil super genius who figures out how to compromise everybody by providing this crazy freak off party. Everybody's got to put their phones away. Okay, we're going to put our phone away. No one's going to know anything. Yeah, I mean, he's going to get cameras everywhere. It's just one guy doing that. What a diabolical human being.
Yeah.
He seems pretty diabolical.
He's probably working with somebody or for somebody.
Maybe.
And maybe he just got too far out there.
Some of the shit that came out in the trial, though, like he's forcing his girlfriend to have sex with prostitutes while he was sitting there jerking off with a bandana on. She'd rub the on his nipples. Like, what are we even talking about? There's so many horrific accusations, though, involving young singers, like children.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
It's insane.
He makes R. Kelly look like a decent guy.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
It is crazy. And meanwhile, the guy was like hanging out with Oprah, hanging out with Obama.
Jay-Z,
everybody.
I'm sure the Clintons were there at some point.
Maybe Bill.
Now, people are wondering, was Diddy acting alone, or was he part of something bigger? Because the deeper this trial goes, the more it starts to look like Diddy wasn't the only one in control. With every new witness, the web around Diddy gets more tangled. One key moment in court came when Cassie's friend, Brianna Bongolan, also known as Bana, testified. She told the jury that Diddy once threw a knife at Cassie and even held her over a balcony during a fight. But that wasn't all. She said she saw Cassie bruised and scared many times, but felt helpless to stop it. The defense quickly attacked Brianna's story, saying she gave different versions of where the balcony incident happened. Cassie said a hotel, Brianna said an apartment. Diddy's lawyers claim this proves their testimonies don't line up and suggest they're just trying to win money through lawsuits. Still, Brianna testified under immunity, meaning she couldn't be charged for anything she said on the stand. That alone shows how serious prosecutors are about her story. But it was one hidden phone and the $100,000 payoff linked to it that could become the trial's biggest turning point. The most shocking part? A single video may hold the key to the entire case. According to hotel guard Eddie Garcia, Diddy paid $100,000 to make that video disappear, a video that allegedly showed him hurting Cassie. Garcia said he met with Diddy, handed over a USB drive, and was forced to sign a contract swearing it was the only copy. He was even warned not to speak, or he'd face $1 million penalty. That kind of payoff points to one thing: desperation. Prosecutors believe Diddy wasn't just trying to silence victims, he was covering his tracks fast. And with his former chief of staff now missing from public view, it's clear more people may be involved. This trial is no longer just about one man. It's exposing something much deeper about power, silence, and the dark side of fame. Will justice finally be served, or will Diddy's connections save him once again? Let us know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. This story is far from over.